Hi, my name is Ruel Cabading. This is my project for the end of the year. This is Gelatinous, Underworld, Magnificent, Murderful, Yearning, or GUMMY for short. This is my take on the GUMMY project, and it will be kind of like a Dark Souls Pokemon game. So let's just get into it. So my GUMMY Bear class here is a virtual class. It has a pure virtual function right here that controls a UI of a bear. You'll see it later. And these are its shared variables, which they all share a name. They all share name, max health, level, attack damage, attack stat, defense stat, and speed stat here. These are the setters and getters for these functions, and that's pretty much all for Gummy Bear, especially since it is a pure function. So these are all the setters and getters of this class. Now we have a derived version of it, which is Player Bear, which is going to be your playable character, and it derives from Gummy Bear. So it has a constructor, a bear diagram, and a destructor for its public things, but no new variables. So these are constructor that essentially takes things from the main function and throws into a constructor. This is your bear diagram, which is a UI that just shows everything. And this is the deconstructor, which essentially just shows everything. Or not shows everything, but it deconstructs the object when the program exits. Same thing with enemy. This is its constructor. It's also given a new value called is defeated, which checks if the enemy has been defeated or not. And it won't show again if the enemy has been defeated or the boss has been defeated. And it has the setter and getter for the is defeated variable, and it has its constructor and deconstructor. And it also has the bear diagram, and it's derived from Gummy Bear. That's why it shares the same variables and names. And it also has this function. So this is a CPP file. This is its deconstructor right here, or deconstructor. This is its constructor right here, and it sets the values. This is the is defeated, returns and sets the value. This is its UI, which it calls for the enemy, which is different from the player bear because the eyes, X, and they're angry in comparison to the E's here. And this is deconstructed. But the main thing is the action function, which holds the level up, which checks the level up, it checks the training, and it checks for fighting, and it's deconstructed. So essentially how this works is that the check is constantly checking your new stats from training, and if it sets the level of your lowest stat to your level. So if my attack, speed, and defense were a 2, 4, 3, my new level would be 2 because 2 is the lowest. So that's how this works. My training stat, essentially, the user is prompted to choose which stat they want to change, what stat they want to train, and they'll be given the chance of answering a multiplication problem. And if their answer is right, it +1 to that stat. And essentially keeps going until the stat cap of 5. So each level is up to 5. This is the fight function. Essentially, everything gets played into here, and your defense, your speed, and your attack, and everything, your level plays into this function right here. And yeah, so it essentially takes 2 parameters of a boss and a player. It takes their pointers, so I can actively change different things within the object itself rather than a copied object. And it returns whenever a boss or a player loses all their life, it gets dropped here. Set is defeated, and if the boss loses their health first, I can set the object variable to true, which is why I need the pointer. And after that, it goes here and pushes to the main function that, hey, this boss is dead, do not show this boss again. So yeah, this is the fight function, and this is all its classes. Now we're talking about the main function. So essentially how this works is it goes here, and I have each individual all variables that are set to, essentially, if I had a default constructor, these are the variables I'd have the value set to. This is lore right here, if you want to read this. All of this right here is all lore, just some background for fun background. This actually loads and creates a new character, prompt the user to insert a number depending on what they want to do. If they want to load the character, the string, the actual in file actually keeps repeating itself until a new valid file is opened. So when the new valid file is opened, it goes into the actual variables, and yeah. But if the player chooses to create a new character, it just asks for a name, and it gets that name, and it throws it into the username. There's a secret ending Easter egg if you don't put 1 or 2, and once you get those values, you throw it into the initializing. So it initializes all the players and the bosses. So this is what actually controls the game, this little block right here. And it essentially says until all the bosses are defeated, keep going and just keep playing this loop. So what essentially happens is right here, it tells all of the player's stats and everything with the diagram from the player bear that you saw earlier. This prompts the user to have different actions of what to do next, which is train. If they enter 1, they can train, which essentially, if their actual level is 5, that means they can't train anymore and it won't let them train. But if it is, then it will throw it into the action function within action. The function train in the class action. If they select 2, they will be prompted to choose which boss to fight, depending if the boss is actually defeated or not. If the boss is defeated, the boss won't show up. That's why I have a bunch of if statements right here. Once you do that, they send pointers to the fight class of the player and the boss you want to see, the boss that you want to be, in order to just be able to change things within the function. So I can change different things of the object within the function. Now, if I choose 3, it saves and exits, and my save functions appear. And so essentially it's a pass-by reference of the objects, so I can read different things and output it into a file that's right here. It's in load_game.txt. And so whenever I save stuff, it goes into that file right there. Now, there is different Easter eggs. If you do 4, you just like being mysterious, and Fallout 4 essentially happens. I have it like that. And 5 is just me being mean. I can't say that. And for a default, it's just you can't listen to directions. So 4 and 5 are just little Easter eggs to find. And after you defeat all the bosses are just into the company. So it just ends the game right there. Okay, let's just get into the actual code, give you a little demo. So this is the lore right here. And let's just say I want to create a new character. And I would like to name the character my name, which is Ruel. And so now you're giving this UI, the bear, and your stats. So let's say I want to train him, and I want to train his attack. So let's say, and I have to answer this question now. If I answer it right, yeah, I get +1 to the attack stat. And you can see here, now I have +1 to the attack stat. But let's do the levels. Let's try to get a level up. So in order to level up, you have to get at least all of the being the same level. So if you do train Ruel and then you do defense, now you do it again, you get 0 again. You go again to do speed, get the same. And now look, now you're level 2. Let's just keep training. Let's just keep training before I actually fight a boss. So we do attack and we do say 4. You can see that the actual multiplication is actually working now. For some reason I kept getting 0. Train Ruel, and then attack, speed, and then 0. And then train, and then attack, and then 0. So now if I try to do it again, it won't let me because Ruel is already maxed. That's already maxed. So let's try to fight a boss. Let's just fight the first one. And you see that since his speed is higher than mine, he goes first, and he tried to heal himself for 15. So he already went up. So now we have to just keep fighting him. So after I do that, I use my normal move for 15, but he lands a critical hit on me. So 20, and now he has 100 and I have 80. So if I just keep going, special move, now he's dropped to 75, special move. Yeah, and I lost a turn. He tried to heal, but he lost a turn because he already used his healing. And my special move, I already ran out, so I can't do that again, or I will lose a move. So I'll just keep doing this, and maybe I'll heal for the last one, and then I'll hit him again. And I've defeated Horrorborg with Gelatinous. So yeah, so I've already defeated a boss. That means when I do save and exit, all of these are removed based on the destructors. And so now this information right here should be saved. So Ruel 2522. So when we go here and load up the character again, you do the load game.txt 2522, and Horrorborg should be gone. It should not be able to fight him. So yeah, so he's not there anymore. So yeah, so this is just a little demo of the game, and essentially just keep going until all the bosses are defeated. So yeah, so thank you for watching, and hope you enjoy my game.